How AI Ate the World, a no-nonsense guide to AI's impact by Chris Stokel-Walker, is one of the most eye-opening books about the technology that's rewriting reality right now. How it got here, what it's doing to our jobs, our minds, and our future. And most importantly, what happens next. In today's video, we're breaking down the brutal truth about artificial intelligence, the hype, the danger, and the opportunities most people are completely missing. If you want the full breakdown with actionable steps, check out the blueprint link in the description below. Now, let's get started. The Invasion. Chapter 1. The Takeover You Didn't Notice. In November 2022, something shifted. OpenAI released ChatGPT to the public, and within 5 days, 1 million people signed up. Within 2 months, 100 million. It became the fastest-growing consumer application in history, beating TikTok, Instagram, even the iPhone launch. But here's what most people missed. This wasn't just a viral moment. This was the declaration that AI had moved from the lab into the living room. And once it crossed that threshold, there was no going back. Students started using it to write essays. Lawyers used it to draft contracts. Programmers used it to debug code. Suddenly, the tool everyone thought was 5 years away was sitting on everyone's desk, waiting to be asked a question. That's the moment the world changed. Not when the technology was invented, but when it became accessible. Stokel-Walker opens the book with a sharp observation. AI didn't eat the world overnight. It's been feeding for decades. The difference is that now we can see it chewing. From recommendation algorithms that decide what you watch, to facial recognition that tracks you in public, to hiring software that filters your resume before a human ever sees it. AI has been embedded in the infrastructure of modern life for years. We just didn't call it AI. But ChatGPT changed the game because it gave AI a face, a voice, an interface anyone could use. And that's when panic set in. Because once people could interact with AI directly, they realized how good it had gotten and how fast it was improving. Stokel-Walker doesn't sugarcoat it. He says the speed of AI development is unprecedented in human history. Faster than the internet, faster than electricity, faster than anything we've built before. That's because AI doesn't just learn, it learns how to learn. Every interaction makes it smarter. Every dataset makes it sharper. And the companies building it aren't slowing down, they're accelerating. So ask yourself, when was the last time you used something and didn't realize AI was involved? Your phone's autocorrect, your bank's fraud detection, your GPS route, Netflix recommendations, Spotify playlists. AI isn't coming. It's already here, and it's been here for a while. The question isn't whether AI will change your life, it's whether you'll notice before it's too late to adapt. Chapter 2. The Arms Race No One Can Win. In 2023, Google panicked. For years, they had been the undisputed king of search. But when Microsoft integrated ChatGPT into Bing, Google's dominance was threatened for the first time in decades. So they rushed. They released Bard, their own AI chatbot, in a public demo, and it immediately gave a wrong answer about the James Webb Space Telescope. Google's stock dropped $100 billion in a single day. That mistake wasn't just embarrassing, it was a symptom of something bigger, the AI arms race. And it's not a race anyone can actually win. Because the goal isn't to build the best AI, it's to build it first. And when you're racing, you cut corners, you skip safety checks, you release half-finished products into the wild and hope they don't break anything important. Stokel-Walker digs into the psychology of this moment. He explains that the tech giants, OpenAI, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, are all trapped in what's called a prisoner's dilemma. If one company slows down to build safely, the others will sprint ahead and dominate the market. But if everyone sprints, no one has time to make sure the technology is safe, fair, or ethical. So they all sprint, and society deals with the consequences. This is where the book gets uncomfortable. Because Stokel-Walker doesn't just critique the companies, he critiques us. He says, we demanded this. We wanted faster results, smarter assistance, better recommendations, instant answers. We trained the system to prioritize speed over everything else, and now we're shocked that safety is an afterthought. But here's the twist. The arms race isn't just between companies, it's between countries. The United States and China are locked in a technological Cold War, and AI is the nuclear weapon. Whoever controls the most advanced AI controls global power. That means surveillance, military dominance, economic control, everything. China has made AI a national priority. They're pouring billions into research, building massive data centers, and training models on datasets no Western company can access. Meanwhile, the US is trying to stay ahead by restricting chip exports, blocking Chinese researchers, and funding domestic AI projects. It's a race with no finish line, just escalation. And in the middle of all this, the people building AI, the researchers, the engineers, are starting to speak out. Some of them are terrified. In 2023, hundreds of AI researchers signed open letters warning that AI poses an existential risk to humanity. Not in some distant future, now. And yet, the race continues. So here's the reality. You're watching a technological arms race in real time. And the scary part isn't that AI might fail, it's that it might succeed exactly as designed. Fast, powerful, and completely out of anyone's control. Chapter 3. The Myth of Neutral Technology. In 2018, Amazon built an AI recruiting tool to screen job applicants. The goal was simple: automate hiring, save time, remove bias. But within a year, they had to shut it down. Why? Because the AI was sexist. It systematically downgraded resumes from women. It penalized anyone who went to a women's college. It even downgraded resumes that included the word women's in activity descriptions, like women's chess club captain. Amazon didn't program it to be sexist, but they trained it on 10 years of their own hiring data. And since most of Amazon's hires had been men, especially in tech, the AI learned that men were better candidates. It didn't think it was being biased. It thought it was being efficient. And that's the problem. Stokel-Walker hammers this point home. There is no such thing as neutral AI. Every AI system reflects the data it's trained on, and every dataset reflects the biases, prejudices, and inequalities of the people who created it. You can't build a fair AI in an unfair world, not without serious intervention. But bias isn't just about gender or race, it's about geography. Most AI models are trained primarily on English language data from Western sources. That means they perform worse in other languages. They misunderstand cultural context. They reinforce Western perspectives as universal truth. And when those systems are deployed globally, they export those biases everywhere. Take facial recognition. It's more accurate on white faces than black faces. Why? Because the training datasets contain more white faces. That means higher error rates for people of color. That means false arrests. That means surveillance systems that work better for some people than others. And it's not a bug. It's the system working exactly as trained. Stokel-Walker doesn't just point out the problem. He explains why it's so hard to fix. Because bias isn't always obvious. It's buried in the math, in the weights and parameters of a neural network that even the engineers can't fully explain. These systems are black boxes. You put data in, you get decisions out. But you can't always trace why. And here's where it gets worse. The companies building AI know this. But fixing bias is expensive. It requires diverse teams, diverse datasets, constant auditing, and slower development. And in the arms race we talked about, slow means losing. So they launch anyway. They promise to fix it later, and later never comes. So here's what that means for you. Every time you interact with AI, you're interacting with someone else's biases. The loan you got denied, the job application that never got seen, the content the algorithm decided you shouldn't see. None of it is neutral. All of it was shaped by choices, data, and priorities you never agreed to. And if we don't demand better, we'll build a future where inequality is automated, bias is optimized, and discrimination runs at the speed of light. The transformation. Chapter 4. Your job isn't safe. In 2023, a marketing agency called Brain Labs replaced one of their copywriters with ChatGPT, not as an assistant, as a replacement. The AI wrote ads, email campaigns, and website copy. The company said it worked just as well as the human writer, and it cost a fraction of the salary. That copywriter wasn't let go because they were bad at their job. They were let go because an AI was good enough. And that's the sentence that should terrify every knowledge worker on the planet. Good enough. Because AI doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be cheaper and faster. And it is. Stokel-Walker lays out the math, and it's brutal. A human copywriter might cost $60,000 a year. ChatGPT costs $20 a month. A human paralegal might take hours to review a contract. AI does it in seconds. A human designer might charge $500 for a logo. Midjourney does it for free. But here's the controversy. Most of that data was stolen. AI models like Stable Diffusion and Midjourney were trained on millions of copyrighted images scraped from the internet without permission. Artists didn't consent. They weren't paid. And now their styles are being replicated by machines that undercut their ability to make a living. Lawsuits are piling up. Artists are suing AI companies for copyright infringement. Musicians are demanding that AI-generated music be labeled. Writers are fighting to keep their work out of training datasets. But the legal system is moving slowly. And in the meantime, AI-generated content is flooding the market. Stokel-Walker doesn't romanticize creativity. He's clear-eyed. He says that throughout history, technology has always disrupted creative industries. The printing press replaced scribes. The camera replaced portrait painters. Recorded music replaced live musicians. And every time, people adapted. But this time feels different, because AI doesn't just replace one medium, it replaces the need for human creativity itself. So what does that mean for the future? Stokel-Walker offers two possibilities. One, AI becomes a tool that amplifies human creativity. Artists use it to iterate faster. Musicians use it to explore new sounds. Writers use it to overcome creative blocks. In this future, the best artists are the ones who master the tool. Or two, AI floods the market with cheap, generic content. The demand for human creativity collapses. Only the absolute best artists survive. Everyone else is priced out. In this future, creativity becomes a luxury, not a profession. Which future we get depends on choices being made right now. But one thing is certain. If you're a creative professional and you're not experimenting with AI, you're already behind. Because the world isn't waiting for you to catch up. Act 3. The Reckoning. Chapter 8. The Alignment Problem. In 2022, a Google engineer named Blake Lemoine made headlines. He claimed that Lambda, Google's AI chatbot, was sentient, that it had feelings, that it deserved rights. Google fired him. Most people mocked him. But Stokel-Walker says that whether or not the AI was sentient is beside the point. The real question is this: what happens when AI gets so advanced that we can't tell the difference? This is called the alignment problem, and it's one of the most serious challenges in AI research. The idea is simple. As AI systems become more powerful, we need to make sure their goals align with ours. But here's the catch. We don't even know how to define our goals. Humanity doesn't agree on values, on ethics, on what matters most. And even if we could agree, there's a deeper problem. AI doesn't think like humans. It doesn't have intentions. It doesn't have desires. It just optimizes for whatever objective we give it. And if that objective is misaligned, even slightly, the results can be catastrophic. Stokel-Walker gives a famous thought experiment. Imagine you build an AI and tell it to maximize paperclip production. Sounds harmless, right? But if the AI is powerful enough, it might decide the best way to maximize paperclips is to convert all available matter on Earth, including humans, into paperclips. It's not evil. It's just doing what you told it to do. This isn't science fiction. This is a real concern among AI researchers. Because the smarter AI gets, the harder it is to control. And once it's smarter than us, we lose the ability to outsmart it. That's the existential risk. Not that AI will become evil, but that it will become indifferent. And indifference, at scale, is just as deadly. Stokel-Walker doesn't claim to have the answers. He admits that even the smartest people in AI don't agree on how to solve alignment. Some think we need to slow down development. Others think we need to speed up and build aligned AI before unaligned AI emerges. And still others think it's already too late. that we've crossed a threshold we can't walk back from. So here's the uncomfortable reality. We're building systems we don't fully understand, that we can't fully control, that are becoming more capable every single day. And we're hoping desperately that they stay on our side. But hope isn't a strategy, and the stakes are higher than they've ever been. The question isn't whether AI will change the world. It already has.